So I'm a bit late to the subject, lots of real life stuff got in the way, I just moved, who cares, you're here for YouTube drama. So like 2-ish weeks ago now, a little tizzy shook the unemployed Redditor side of YouTube. Slop King Mutahar himself, or SomeOrdinaryGamers, got into one of the biggest "you're not my friend anymore" arguments with his podcast co-host and questionable anime enjoyer Nuxtaku. And from the situation, there's one thing we learned without a doubt. Both of these guys are complete weirdos, and I mean like actual freaks. Now, I want to address something really quick. This is old drama. If I didn't have a personal stake in this race, I would not be covering it at this point, but I do. Mutahar's had a severely negative impact on the life of someone I know, and we're going to get into how it all links back to this situation and how really Muta's just a piece of shit. So let's deal with the big thing first, and I'll give you a little bit of lore on why I can't just stand this guy, and I was so happy seeing him finally get what he deserves. To summarize quickly, Muta committed the cardinal sin of listening to Reddit's opinion on something and had it completely backfire on him. A bunch of Redditors were calling Nux a weirdo and some other pretty harsh words that go along with that, and like, yeah, Nux is weird, no doubt about that, but to our knowledge, he's not like creeping on kids weird, or actually really even watching any anime that involves putting minors in compromising positions, which is what they were saying he was doing. Anyway, Muta comes out with a video publicly cutting all ties with Nux, calling him weird for watching lolly content, and just like completely sucks up to the Redditors that were calling him weird by association. Before we continue, let's actually establish what a lolly is. In essence, lollies are small women. That can mean underage women, but that doesn't by default mean that someone's a pedo or a weirdo for watching an anime with a lolly in it. Prime example, Best Girl Rebecca from Cyberpunk Edge Runners would be classified as a lolly. Very common misconception that lolly always equals underage, one that I held too, but now we all know. Back to Muta, this video completely blows up in his face. He's called out for sharing pretty questionable content, trying to redirect blame onto Nux, and just overall the biggest, being a pretty horrible friend. Muta using people for popularity isn't an uncommon thing with him. It's what he did to one of my boys a few months ago, but we're not quite there yet. Muta deletes this video, and the last thing we hear from him on the subject is a community post where he apologizes for becoming a slop channel, which, if I might add, slop content is only as slop as you make it. For instance, my content's the best quote-unquote slop on this platform. If you think you're making slop, then do better. It's that easy. Which is what he says he's gonna do from now on. A few days later, we hear from Nux saying that the two had a long phone call or something where they squashed the beef, and now everyone seems to be friends again, so yippee, I guess. All that lost reputation, credibility, God only knows how much time, and everything is back to normal. Dude, just being real, Muta's an idiot. I'm being serious. Like, how stupid do you have to be to let this shit happen? All that computer knowledge, and you've got the social skills of a 7-year-old. I really don't have any insightful commentary on that whole situation. It's plain and simple. He's an idiot, and everyone knows it now. I mean, every now and then I'd see people on Twitter pop up and just become conscious of how big of a jerk Muta really is, but it's typically always followed by unaware glazers who never really got exposed to how he acts when the camera's not rolling. However, some of us have been aware of just how much of an ass Muta really is for a long time. I've got this one mutual, an oomph if you will. We're not really all that close, but I've gotten the privilege of meeting this guy in person before. A real chill guy, you know. His name is Jab. Back in June, he was at Too Many Games, a big gaming convention just outside of Philly. I've been there a few times. It's super fun. But Jab comes across a copy of the Guy game. Those who don't know, this is an original Xbox PS2 era game that essentially played like a trivia game where the more questions you'd get right, the more girls would strip. And one of the girls they invited to be a part of this game ended up lying about how old she was. So this game had literal CP in it. Jab found a copy of the game being sold in one of the booths at the convention, made a tweet about how much it was being sold for. This blew up into a massive, I mean massive ordeal, with the tweet getting way over 70 million views. But the biggest two-faced bitch of today saw this and decided to add his very insightful commentary telling Jab that it was wrong to buy the game because of the CP in it. Jab, as a matter of fact, did not buy this game. In fact, he was the reason that the vendor selling it got in trouble and the game was removed. But Muta had no problem insinuating that my boy over there was just a pedo without doing any digging, when Jab had even mentioned before Muta chimed in that he did not buy that game. I don't have Muta's original tweet when he did this because a few months ago Muta purged his Twitter and privated it, so if you don't want to believe me and think I'm just making all this up, that's fair. It's smart to not believe anything without proof. But if I was lying, this would be a really strange thing to lie about. Actually, I just made a connection here. Muta's got a bit of a track record of trying to insinuate that people are pedophiles, so I don't like Muta. I think he's a piece of shit. I wholeheartedly believe he will say and do anything to make himself look better. I mean, if he'll throw his friend who he collaborated with for years under the bus made up of completely like unemployed parasocial redditors in the hopes of making himself look just a tiny bit better, then it really doesn't look like there is anything sacred to this man. With every video I do covering YouTube drama, I want to tie this back into something we can all take away from so we can walk out of a bad situation as better people. And honestly, all I can really think of is just watch out for the people you keep close to you. Would you want a friend like Mutahar in your life? Someone who is more than willing to drop and slander you for an opportunity to look better in front of a very small amount of people? I mean, like, seriously, how many redditors on the like YouTube drama subreddit could have been criticizing him? It's not a popular thing anymore. It had to have been like 20, 50 absolute tops, and this dude's got like 3 million something subscribers. Bro, like, caved to like maybe 50 people. Like honestly, it's a strong sign of a personality disorder. Like it's basically textbook. We're not all gonna be put into like cancellation videos like Nux was, but imagine you're in a situation with a friend and they just completely backstab you to make themselves look better in front of another friend. That's essentially the real world equivalent of what just happened between Muta and Nux. I wouldn't say you need to be like hyper paranoid of everyone in your life being out to get you, but just keep like little mental notes of how your friends treat others. If you see some Mutahar-esque behavior, maybe step back and assess if that's someone you want in your life. I mean, I know Nux is seemingly okay with Muta now, but I don't really think that was the best move he could have made. One, because you can't just like simply let people treat you that way and then just let it be water under the bridge without some kind of proof that it's not gonna happen again. And two, because if I just had my whole career put in jeopardy because someone was butthurt by like what 20-ish losers online said about me, they'd be dead to me. Like I would never speak to that person again. I feel like that's a typical normal reaction to have. I don't know though, we all make our own judgment calls on who we want in our lives. Just be careful, you know? But anyways, that's it for me. If you're new here and you've seen the light that I actually might be God's gift to slop content, subscribe. Help me get out of low sub purgatory. It'll be great. We'll make a cute little community and we'll all have fun here. And I mean like cute little like an overaged small woman, like that kind of lolly, not like children, you know? I came up with that joke out of my head. I didn't write that one down. All right, guys, see ya.